Hi, this is Mark with MichiganBiochar. Today I want to talk to you about 4 tips on how to buy biochar. So getting started with it, tip number 1 is to buy your biochar whenever possible in a dry weight. The reason why I say that is biochar is capable of holding 8 to 10 times its weight in water because it acts like a sponge. Merely on a humid day, biochar can actually absorb a lot of water. So again, if at all possible, you want to buy biochar in its dry weight, or you may end up buying a lot of water. So what I'd like to show you is some biochar we ground up, and it's ready for us to inoculate with compost. And you can see just how beautiful this biochar is. It's ground just to the right sizes. And all we need to do is make sure that when this biochar goes into your mix, that we're keeping the moisture out of that biochar as well. So how do we do that? Well, we take this and we take samples and we check for moisture content. And right now, today, we know that it takes 24.5 quarts of this biochar to give you only 20 quarts of dry biochar. So that's the added measure. It has a little moisture in it, but you've got that extra biochar that's compensating for that moisture. Tip number 2, biochar comes in many different forms. A good quality biochar is relatively dusty. So what you want to do is a water test. So what you want to do is take the biochar, rub it together in your hands, and you can see the black film that it puts on your hands. Now, good quality biochar has little oils in it whatsoever. When you've got a greasy residue that's left over after washing your hands in water, that's a result of a biochar that didn't quite cook all the way through, so it's not quite as good a quality of biochar. So what we like to do is a water test. Just take my hands, this bucket of water, and if I have any kind of greasy residue film whatsoever, then you know it's not a quality biochar. You can see here how well that washed off my hands with this bucket of just plain tap water. So very important for you to take that test. Tip number 3, do not buy raw biochar unless you really know what you're doing with it. The reason why, biochar, if it's not inoculated, it will actually suck up the moisture and the nutrients out of your garden or whatever you're planting it in. So it's very important that you buy it inoculated. Some people don't, and because they do understand that they already have a garden that's already been pre-charged with compost or whatever. So just buyer beware. It's very important that you buy compost and biochar as a combination. Tip number 4 is know your soil. If you have a very high pH and a very well worked up garden, adding biochar to it will bump your pH up some. So the best fit for biochar really is in a soil that's really depleted of nutrients and low in pH. But it doesn't mean it doesn't work for high pH soils as well. There really is not an application that I'm aware of that biochar is not really a good fit. You've got to remember that biochar, due to its very characteristics, will encourage a growing ecosystem that will help any kind of garden, whether it's low pH or high pH. But do your research and make sure you're aware of what the effects of biochar is in your garden. And last of all, I want to point out that these are just general rules. Each person needs to do their own due diligence. If you have any questions regarding how biochar may act in your garden, we would be happy to help you here at MichiganBiochar. So in conclusion, we would encourage you to share this video with your friends and family that might be interested in using biochar as well. And if you want, please leave us a comment. We would love to hear from the people watching our videos. Thank you.